Okay, hi. So I just did 3 or 4 prayers for Puerto Rico, the fires, um, Las Vegas, and for sex offenders and their victims. So please feel free to share those. And I'm just feeling really compelled to do a lot of stuff right now. And so let's talk about the tools for healing the root causes of narcissism. And what I would like to do is actually take you through some of the processes that I have used with clients to help them in different situations, but also really with self-forgiveness is one of the biggest tools that I use is self-forgiveness. And so I feel really drawn to utilize some of the tools that I use for, healing these really deep-seated conditioned programmings that are in us that design us in a particular way to respond in a certain way to certain stimuli in our realities on a daily basis. And a big one, there's a couple that I'm going to speak to today. One is self-forgiveness, so I'm going to take you through that process. And then 2 is the inner child work. So, and then, I'll probably talk about a lot of different other processes that we can utilize to help ourselves to really look at how we are affecting others and how to go about changing our behavior so that, we stop contributing to the we just stop contributing to the destruction of humanity and its consciousness. Like, we start to contribute to the unfolding of harmony and grace on this planet. So with that, I want you to think back to a place. Well, first, let me do this. Let me close the window. That would be helpful. And let me go into prayer. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open the container. I'm going to open a prayer field. And it's already open because I've been doing prayers, but I'm just going to set a little bit more of a structured container so that anyone who is present with us in this container feels the protection and the grace of the sphere in which we are working today. So I just created a little bit more of a structured, energetic sphere for us to be present. So in that, in accordance with the cosmic sovereign law of one, I call upon Archangel Michael now. Archangel Uriel. Archangel Gabriel. And Archangel Raphael, to ground the 4 cardinal directions, north, east, south, and west. I call upon Jesus, Buddha, Mother Mary, and Kuan Yin to hold up the 4 pillars of these 4 cardinal directions now. creating a cosmic tube of light within which to work today. The rest I'm not going to say openly, but I've called in the elementals, earth, air, fire, water, and ether. And I've created the cosmic heart of God and Gaia, bringing all of that into the 7 directions, basically, in the heart within. And calling upon the monadic source seed presences of those people that are participating in this today, that their monadic source seed present has placed their attention and focus upon this healing space where we are gathering today, and we simply bless this time together, knowing that everything is happening according to the highest good. And for the benefit of all beings, we do this work. Okay, so the elementals are present, the angelic realms are present, the high councils of light are present, the tree kingdom, the crystal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the flower kingdoms, the fey kingdoms, the insect kingdoms, the animal kingdoms and the human kingdoms, the bird tribes, they're all present with us right now. The whale clan, the dragon clan, all of the clans I had called in earlier. So they're all here with us. And so there's that presence of, all of the kingdoms of earth and beyond being fully present with us and available for this harmonic resonance field that we're creating here for this time of healing. And so the 3 forgiveness processes that I want to do today, specifically for self-forgiveness, is, so this can show up in many ways. I just want to explain it a little bit. These are very general uses of this self-forgiveness process, but it can be used for all kinds of different aspects of our reality to forgive ourselves for that which has been out of alignment in our lives and in our personal relations. But the main 3 that I want to work with today is judging ourselves as not enough, abandoning ourselves in all of our relationships, and not speaking our truth. So those are the 3 that I feel incredibly compelled to work with today. Whatever feels more comfortable for you, place your hand, knowing that you are in a sacred space and that you are completely safe, and making sure that you don't have any interruptions in this moment, that you have a sacred space to be in or a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. If you don't have that, you can stop the video during playback if you want to play this back later. And it will be on my YouTube channel, so you can go and access it there much more easily than probably my Facebook Live videos. But so finding a quiet space where you're centered and focused and you feel comfortable and safe, where you can do this work so that you know that you can let go and let loose, because this is a very, very, very deep process. Now, I probably won't cry because I'm facilitating at this moment, but what I'm actually going to be doing is holding space for you in this process. And I will sense and know when it is time to move forward. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna repeat it 3 times, but then I'm gonna ask you to continue repeating it to go through the process, whatever you need to be able to go through that process and to completely release and allow yourself to drop and to find that shift within you that where you come into compassion for yourself and for all those that you have, had relations with. So, first and foremost, placing your hand on your heart, and if you want, placing your other hand on your womb, your belly, your sacred bowl, or your hara if you're a man. And just taking 3 deep breaths. And then if you choose to, you can repeat after me. I forgive myself for all the times I did not, I was going to say speak my truth. I'm going to do the first one. Sorry. I forgive myself for all the times I judged myself as not enough. I forgive myself for all the times I judged myself as not enough. I forgive myself for all the times I judged myself as not enough. I forgive myself for all the times I judged myself as not enough. And just keep repeating that. And allow yourself to really feel the depths of that. Feel what it feels like to find compassion for that place within you where you felt that you were not enough. What does that feel like? Just really allow yourself to have that. And the deep knowing that you are enough. That you've always been enough. And then moving into the next self-forgiveness work, prayer. When you're ready, repeating after me. I forgive myself for all the times I abandoned myself in relationships. I forgive myself for all the times I abandoned myself in all of my relationships. I forgive myself for all the times I abandoned myself in all of my relationships. Just keep repeating that. I forgive myself for all the times I abandoned myself in all of my relationships. Just really feel that. And feel yourself understand and come into that awareness. And seeing all those people flash in front of you, and all the relationships that you've had where you've abandoned yourself time and again. And just let yourself feel that. And you can do this again at any time. Sometimes there's many layers of this. I forgive myself for all the times I abandoned myself in all of my relationships. And feel that shift happen within you. Where you feel the understanding and the knowingness. Of what that is. And that you never have to abandon yourself again. And that you are able to recognize those moments where you are abandoning yourself in your relationships. And that you have a choice point in those moments to come into right relations with yourself and make a different choice. And choose to keep your power for yourself and your sovereignty and your self-awareness and your light. And then moving into the third. When you're ready, repeat after me. I forgive myself for all the times I did not speak my truth. I forgive myself for all the times I did not speak my truth. I forgive myself for all the times I did not speak my truth. Just keep repeating that. I forgive myself for all the times I did not speak my truth. Just allow yourself to feel the depths of that. You may have some pain in your throat, or a headache, or tension in your body. And just allow Spirit to wash over you, knowing you are in a sacred, safe space. And allow yourself to release all of that tension. And if you need to cry, just let it out. I forgive myself for all the times I did not speak my truth. Knowing that you never have to hold back your truth again, and that you can say it with love and grace and respect. And so coming back into your heart space, commanding all of your life force energy to be returned to you now, cleaned, cleared, healed, and detoxified, and in the present moment now. I command all of my vital life force energy to be returned to me now, cleaned, cleared, healed, and detoxified, and in the present moment now. And feel all of your energy being returned to you that you gave out. Just take it all back in, it's yours. And coming back into this moment, being fully present and available. Opening your eyes and coming into the space where you are, looking around. Just feeling the imminent peace that comes when you know that you are complete within yourself. So that is a healing process that I use with my clients, one of them. And it is incredibly profound and powerful for most people. Most people end up weeping like a baby and being able to see all the places within them where they allowed others to take their energy from them which then caused them to have narcissistic sort of behaviors happen for them as well. So that's one way to come into right relations with yourself, around your own. You're welcome, Troy. I'm not done yet. To come into right relations with yourself. And so the other thing that I really wanted to share today, and because this video is getting a little bit long, I think, is one other tool that is really profound and works really well for a practice that you can use anytime, any place, anywhere, that literally saved me. In my 20s, when I was first getting sober, I was really messed up and I had a lot of stuff. And this particular journaling process, I think, was the one thing that saved me and allowed me to reparent myself and to be able to really touch in with my inner child and to listen to her and to hear her and to let her speak, and let her be heard. And I think a lot of what narcissism is about is not being heard. And so overcompensating for that, having been neglected or things during childhood, a lot of what happens with people is they overcompensate by becoming self-oriented, and rather than really listening to themselves and allowing themselves to really feel what's going on, they develop all these behavioral patterns, or we develop behavioral patterns that keep us from feeling. So this particular process that I'm about to share is really, really beneficial and important, in my opinion, on reparenting ourselves and also being able to hear what's really going on authentically within ourselves. So this process is a journaling process. And so I can't really show it so much as I can share it. So with the dominant hand, and in my case, it's my right hand, I would take a journal, and I have a specific journal for this. However, you can use your regular journal for this process. I choose to call it a process rather than an exercise, because it is a process and it allows for the process to unravel and unfold. And so the process is that with my dominant hand, I say to my inner child, and my inner child, for instance, has a name or a nickname from childhood. So if you had a nickname from childhood, like Jimmy, or whatever your nickname was, if you had one as a child, like JJ, or whatever your child self was called, is usually how you would refer to your inner child now. So you would say, "Hey, JJ, what is it that you would like to talk about? Or is there anything that you would like to share?" And you write it down. You say, "Hey, JJ," and you're talking directly to your inner child. And then with your non-dominant hand, you answer. So your inner child is actually working through your non-dominant hand. And this works for ambidextrous as well. I would just say the stronger hand asks the question and the weaker hand answers. So what happens is when you use your non-dominant hand to answer, it becomes very succinct, and it gives the inner child the opportunity to express herself or himself, and it gets really succinct. And so you allow for that process to happen, and then you allow for them to write whatever it is that they need to say. And then they'll kind of come to a stopping point. And then you go back with your dominant hand and you ask again. And you continue to do this process backwards, back and forth. So you ask again, is there anything else that you want to talk about? And then at first, it might be difficult for your inner child to really come out and talk because it's never had an opportunity to talk, right? Or to really say, unless it's kicking and screaming and rearing its ugly head and acting out, which is usually what happens with the negative ego, which is the narcissistic tendencies that show up. So this inner child is really part of the narcissistic behavioral pattern that is present. So the inner child is actually attempting to get your attention. And so your adult self attention. And so when you give the opportunity and the voice to the inner child, for the inner child to speak its truth, it gives an opportunity for this inner child to be heard. And when your inner child gets heard by you, and you give an opportunity to hear and to listen to what's really going on, then there's an opportunity for healing. Then there's an opportunity for a shift in consciousness, right? So when you do that, you allow your inner child to talk, and then you go back and forth until you feel like your inner child has spoken everything that he or she needs to say. And then, with your dominant hand, you let the inner child know. You speak directly to the inner child, and you let them know that you are going to take care of them, and that they are safe and cherished and loved, and that they don't have to worry anymore about not being heard, and that they can essentially take a back seat and just be present and available with you, and that they're in a safe space, and that they don't have to act out anymore because they have someone on their side. And this could bring up a myriad of things. This could bring up sexual abuse from childhood that you weren't aware of. This could bring up all kinds of scenarios and circumstances where your soul had a fragmentation happen. Your soul had a split. And so there may be aspects of soul retrieval that could happen within that process, where you take back and integrate aspects of yourself that were left behind because of the trauma or the core trauma of a specific situation that your inner child brings to your attention. And so there's so many layers to this, really, that help us to become whole, integrated human beings, and to become adults, and to reparent ourselves and to become adults. And it's not an easy process. It's an unraveling process that takes place. Usually when I work with my clients, I have a system that I've set up. So it's a series of sessions, and we go every 3 to 5 days back to back, so that the darker energies can't come in and really take hold, but it allows enough of a time frame for that process to happen so that I can be there to support every step of the way. And I'm working on a multidimensional level with you, not just, in person during the session, but like I'm actually holding a container for you while you go through this rapid fire healing process and integration, where you're bringing in aspects of your soul back into your embodiment, and you come into full embodiment, and you invite your higher, monadic source seed presence to come online and be integrated and living in your body. And that's a whole process. But just to speak to, these are two of the things, the self-forgiveness process and the inner child work that I do with my clients, that also you can do on your own, that help with the narcissistic tendencies that tend to show up as coping mechanisms and as patterns of behavior when we don't listen to ourselves and we don't, really love ourselves actively. So with that, I would like to complete this session, if you will, for today. And just to say that I really appreciate you being here, and thank you so, so much for joining me in this narcissism series, The Root Causes of Narcissism. It's such a deep part of me that really wants to see the world heal from this narcissistic behavior, because it's not necessary to our reality. And I do believe there's many layers to this. So with that, I just wanted to give you a few tools after we've been talking about it for so many videos. But feel free to share this, and also just to know that parts 1 and 2 are on YouTube. Part 3 is here on Facebook, because it's a live, a double live with me and Angela Jean Hartnett. And we have 2 videos. One is called Energy Harvesting, and then Healing the Root Causes of Narcissism, which is part 3. And then this is part 4. So part 4 will be on my YouTube channel, and you can just type in Saralise and you'll find my YouTube channel. So I so appreciate you all being here with me today. Thank you. And please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, anybody that you feel would be interested in this information and that it would benefit. So with that, I'm signing off after 5 prayers today. And have a beautiful day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I'm sending so much love to you. Bye.